My name is Thomas. I'm 31 years old, and after EDHEC Business School, I started three companies. Three companies in three different sectors, always with the same target, mass market consumers. The first one was in the fast food industry. It was a baked potato with toppings. The second one was in services, an on-demand dry cleaning service. And the third one, the current one, is in goods. It's refillable personal care product. If I have one learning to share with you today, is that my initial startup idea has only contributed up to 10% of the success of my businesses. Unlike what we think, what the media want us to believe, the idea contributes very little to the success of your business. I have a question for you. How many people in the room knows the inventor of the car? No one? Neither do I. But it's not Henry Ford. An idea, an invention, never come from one person. We often make the mistake of believing that there is one genius, one guy, one inventor behind an idea. But that's an easy shortcut to put labels on things. An idea is always a long, complex creation and maturation process along the way. As a student, I often read in the press, in the media, that all you need for success is an idea. My parents, my family, was always showing me the success of a business through the prism of an idea. French bakeries in Brazil, the iconic Big Pen, the Post-it. What brilliant ideas. You all know this sentence, I wish I had thought about it. So when I graduated, I was looking for the idea. I wanted to create the next Facebook, of course. So I subscribed to a lot of newsletters, Fast Company, TechCrunch, you know them. I read many books, the biography of Steve Jobs, and I listened many podcasts. But at the end of the journey, I had many ideas, but I was doing nothing. Why? For many reasons. First, someone had already had my idea. Second, when I think about it a little bit more diligently, it looks almost impossible to implement this idea. And finally, when I was sharing this idea to my friends, I didn't have their full support on it. So I will show you why the idea is only a secondary element to your success. I strongly believe that with an okay idea, but a brilliant execution, you will turn out to be very successful. But with a brilliant idea and poor execution, you will go nowhere. First, because it's likely that many people had already had your idea. Let's assume that one guy out of 1 million is sharing your idea. It will still make approximately 60,000 people with the same idea as you. I know some people hiding their incredible idea, but there is no need to hide. You should talk about it. You should share it. You should gather feedback and keep fine-tuning it. It's less likely that your friends is going to steal your idea and make a profitable business. And even though as I said, the execution is key. I have an example for this, Winker. As a student, we were all using Winker. It's an application which enables you to digitally wink somebody, a girl, for instance, and you won't be revealed except if it was reciprocal. Sounds familiar to you, no? To you. Exactly like Tinder, but 1 year before. So Winker didn't have like Tinder, the full support of the global leader in the online dating industry, like Match.com. So as I said, execution is key. Another thing about ideas, it's very easy to have ideas. Hey, you should copy one to get one, no? I can see many entrepreneurs starting a business by copying something they see somewhere else in the US market or Asia. But fortunately, it's not that easy. It would be sad and easy for large companies because they have highly skilled people and unlimited means. I have a story. It's Kind. You know Kind? It's a US brand in the snacking industry created in 2004. Their motto is ingredients you can see and pronounce. Pretty cool, no? Mars, the global leader of the snacking industry, tried to copy it because Kind was taking more and more shares in the market. But they failed epically for many reasons, and among them, a lack of legitimacy and a poor execution. So, as I said, your idea will contribute only up to 10% of your success. Finally, an idea will always stay an idea if you do nothing. I know some people that when they see a successful business and they had a similar ideas, they're like, oh God, I should have done it, and I would be the one to be very successful. Come on. There is no use of rethinking the past. First, because you didn't do it. So these afterthoughts are nonsense. Second, everything relies on execution. It's not just an idea. It's a sum of ideas. It will evolve according to your market stages. You will need maybe to pivot. So there is no such a thing as an idea, and you will need to take many elements into account to succeed. An idea is never static. People, consumers, don't buy ideas. I don't buy a Lacoste t-shirt or Chanel lipstick because these products have the best features. There is something irrational and emotional in these brands. I will buy a Lacoste t-shirt because this is trendy, sporty, young. It's something that speaks to me. I will share the same values. Life is a beautiful sport, no? Often overlooked, this is exactly the same for B2B business. Because you are selling to people, and I will take your service or your product because it's sexy and that suits me or my company. Many students are contacting me because they have a project. They want to do a crowdfunding campaign as us. So they want to know the magical recipe of a crowdfunding campaign. But the major pitfall of these budding entrepreneurs is that they focus on tactics, on the method, and they neglect the essential, the why. You will need to know your purpose. Why your idea is going to change the world. Why your idea will have an impact on our lives. Is your idea solving a current problem? Is it aligned with the future trends? With my latest company, 900 Care, we exist for only one thing. We want to put a new meaning to hygiene. That is a brand that sublimates the five senses by creating sensational, sensorial products that make sense. And this ecology promise throughout an optimistic, practical, and complex approach that convinced more than 15,000 contributors in less than 2 months. You will need to think about your market. Market is very important. Is your market ready for your product? Is your market big enough to make a profitable business? Does your market have competitors? Because if not, this is a bad signal. It's very important to think about the time to market, because sometimes you can be too early or too late. Yuka is a good example. You know Yuka? This is an application to rank the products and to know all the ingredients inside. But before Yuka, there were plenty of tools to do it. You could go online. You could read the newspaper to know if a product was good or not. But they made it very easy to do it and very easy to understand and to rank the products. So maybe a little tips. Instead of focusing on the idea, maybe you can watch a market and see if this market hasn't changed for a long time, and if you can do something with that, if you can solve a problem for these customers. The last thing to see, to look, and the most important, I think, is the team. You and your partners. I will start with you. What skills do you have? Are you ready to learn? With whom? Maybe I'm a good example because I started, as I said, 3 businesses in 3 different sectors. Fast food, service, personal care. I was not an expert of this, but I was ready to learn, and I found the right partners to do it. So, know your strengths, your weaknesses, know what you can do, what you can't do. Find the right partners with a complementary set of skills. And with the best team, I'm sure that you will have the best execution. Soyez BCBG, my second company on demand dry cleaning service, is maybe a good example because Matthew, Thomas, and I, and me, we were not experts of that, but we succeed to sell the company to the global leader of the dry cleaning industry, 5 à Sec. The managers of 5 à Sec were really impressed by what we've done so far with very little resources. They were impressed because we did a best-in-class service, and they were impressed by our vision. That's why they bought the company. What I want to say to you today is you need to desacralize the idea in the process of creating a company. So first, know your purpose. Second, analyze your market. And 3, find find your best partners. Why does this message matter today? Why do I want to share it with you today? I have this little message. Don't prevent yourself from creating a firm because you don't feel confident enough that it will be the next Facebook. Try, test, iterate, nurture an entrepreneurial mindset throughout your professional experiences, and it will lead you to success. Not the linear path that you have in mind, and probably with a lot of highs and lows along the way. But if you keep a consistent desire to create, to learn, to improve, I'm sure that you will create the next successful brands and businesses of tomorrow, whatever your initial idea is. Thank you.